What's up, Candy Fam? My name is David, and I'm back to get you the solutions for all of the puzzles from Week 3 of the Stranger Things game. Like I mentioned last week, this game is a way to earn some digital collectibles by being the fastest community members to solve a series of puzzles each week. And if this is your first time hearing about the game, then head over to netflix.candy.com and create a free account so you can participate as well. Before we get started, one thing to keep in mind is that you have to solve the puzzles starting from Week 1. So you won't even be able to start on the Week 3 puzzles unless you've already completed Weeks 1 and 2. I recorded the solutions for those puzzles as well, so there's going to be some links in the description below if you need to go back and finish those first. But without further ado, let's get started on the Week 3 puzzles. This week's level is taking place in Russia, and there are 3 possible collectibles to receive this time. If you're one of the fastest 1,998 finishers, you will receive an animated poster of either Hopper, Joyce, or Murray. When you enter Stage 3, you will see this image. It's the pit in the Russian prison where Hopper, Enzo, and the other prisoners faced off with a Demogorgon. Unlike last week, there is nothing to click on or zoom into, but what we do have this level is colorful flashing lightning that shows up in a pattern at the top of the screen. Starting from left to right, you will see flashes of red, orange, yellow, blue, green, and white lightning, and then the pattern repeats. And after each lightning flash, there is a pause followed by thunder. And it's the timing between the flash and the thunder that we use to solve the first puzzle. Now, if your sound is turned off, it's fine because the screen will also shake when the thunder starts. But what you need to do is count how much time passes between the colorful lightning flash and the thunder that follows. And once you have a list of how long the thunder takes for each color, you'll create the following pattern and arrange the colors from shortest to longest. Now, because of the way this puzzle is set up, the solution is going to be different for everybody. The image that you see in front of you, that just shows you my solution. And when I did this puzzle, the orange lightning had the shortest pause before the thunder started, and the white lightning had the longest pause. But when you do this puzzle, it will probably be different for you. I recommend using a timer or stopwatch on your phone because some of the pauses can feel like they're pretty close to the same length. And as usual, once you submit the correct solution, the submit button will flash blue and you'll get the message that you completed the puzzle. Then you can clear the solution off the board and get ready for puzzle number 2. The puzzle week began on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, as it always does. We solved the lightning puzzle pretty quick, but then we didn't have any clues to tell us what to do next. So just like in week 1, we had to wait for them to be revealed on social media. The following day, around 2 p.m. Eastern, these images were posted onto the Stranger Things and Candy Digital Instagram accounts. Now, ignore those numbers for a second because I added those afterwards. But what we saw were images of scenes from Stranger Things with colored dots layered over the top of them. And this clue is a reference to the very first Season 4 teaser titled From Russia with Love. And what we had to do was pull that teaser up on YouTube and pause it when it matched the images they gave us. And then we had to mark down how many seconds into the video it was paused at. And so if you look at the scenes in the middle there with the red dot over them, that top scene is what you would see if you paused the teaser at 35 seconds. And the scene on the bottom was from 1 second. And so this information tells us that we need to put a red peg in the 35th row in the first spot on that row. And so we just had to figure out the right number for each of the images and then put a corresponding peg at the spot indicated by those coordinates. And when you're done, it should look like this. No, it only takes 5 pegs for the whole puzzle, but it wasn't possible to know where to put those pegs until we had the clue they provided us with. And when you submit the answer, you'll be all done with puzzle number 2. But then we had to wait again to get the next clue, and it didn't come until the following day at 3 p.m. Eastern. And once again, it was posted to the Stranger Things Instagram account. This is what we saw. And this one stumped the community for about half an hour. It took a while. But what you see is you see some rotated letters that are yellow, red, and orange in color. And they spell out the words afraid of fire. You see a rotary phone there, numbers 1 through 0, going around. And there's an etching of a Demogorgon. First we thought maybe we'd have to draw a Demogorgon, but turned out to not be the case. But what we had to do is we just had to start with the first letter and figure out where that letter was pointing if you were to, for example, put it on the middle of the phone. And so if you look at that first letter, the yellow A, that would point to the number 1. And then the second letter, the yellow F, would point to a 0, and then the yellow R would point to a 9. So that gives us a yellow 1, 0, 9. And so we can take that to mean that we need to put a yellow pig in row 10, spot 9. And it continues from there. The first red A points to 5, and then the red I is upside down, so that's actually pointing at 9. But then we learn from that that we need a red pig in row 5, spot 9. So when you do that throughout all 3 words, you'll end up with this solution. And unlike the last 2 weeks, the final puzzle this time did not require a very large image to be made. It's just a handful of pegs in specific spots according to the puzzle. But yeah, it's just the 2 red pegs, 2 yellow pegs, and 1 orange peg. And once you have them input, as you see in front of you, you can submit, and you'll be treated to the completed screen. You should receive an email within a few minutes of solving the puzzle. And if you are one of the first 1,998 people to complete it, that email will let you know that as one of the top finishers, you'll find one of the collectibles in your candy wallet within 72 hours. Otherwise, you'll get a different email letting you know that even though you didn't win, you can try again next week. So make sure that you have all 3 weeks completed. That way you'll be good to go at the start of week 4. And week 4 is scheduled to kick off on June 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern. And we don't know if it's all going to be completable right at the beginning of the week, like it was in week 2, or if we're going to have to wait a couple days for some clues to be given to us, like weeks 1 and 3. We're just going to have to find out on the 22nd. I'll see you then.